Well, good morning. Welcome to the program. Happy Sunday morning, everybody. I was getting my coffee and I was putting on my shirt. And now I'm ready to go. So sit tight. Let's just, for fun, shits and giggles, let's put on the intro. So you guys sit tight. I'll be back in 30 seconds. Well, good morning. Happy Sunday morning, everyone. Welcome to the program. For those of you who might be new viewers this morning, keep in mind that this is not the formal Intrepid radio program, which airs all week long, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. This is just our informal Sunday show where we all get together and talk about whatever we want to talk about. There's no real topic here this morning, but it is Father's Day, as JP so rightfully pointed out. And as the Scouts like to do in our town anyway, they always have a camping thing on Sunday and or on Father's Day. And Raini is the Scout Master for the girls branch of the BSA, which is now not the Boy Scouts anymore. It's now called Scouting America or some lame woke title like that. So there, that's me. There's the extent of my political brain this morning. So welcome to the program. And it's just us today. I do have two kids still upstairs. One of them's got a friend sleeping over. The boy is sleeping in as usual. He'll be up around noon because he stays up all night playing games. So that's how we roll around here when mom's gone. So good morning to everybody that's over here now. We got Morgan Snow. I see you over there. And Randall Flagg is here. And JP, Jason, is here. And Steph Cuervo Queen. Good to see you guys this morning. There's a lot more of you sitting out there. If you want to come into the chat room, come on in. Meet everybody. It's okay. Nobody bites. And for those once again, those of you who might be new, I put out an invite over at my TikTok and said we might be doing we will be doing some tarot readings this morning. And so I want to, we're not going to be, end-to-end tarot readings this morning, but we're going to do some. We're going to talk a little bit and do some stuff, talk about things, see how everybody's doing, see what's going on, see what everybody's thinking about. And from there, we're going to do some tarot readings. So I hope you guys are ready to do that and want to do that. So you don't have to ask me any questions because I don't really do the question and answer thing with the tarot because I don't like to know what's on your mind when I start doing a reading, mostly because I want to see what the cards have to say for you out of just not knowing ahead of time. And I prefer it that way. So I don't like to be biased by what I think I'm looking for in the answer. I want to give you, because many times I have found with the tarot is that the tarot will say, oh, that's a great question, Randall, but here's what we need you to know over here. Because sometimes, and I've had it happen before, this was earlier on when I was doing, I got to get my my scoot up cushion. There we go. I feel like I'm too low on the screen. There we are. And It's like my camera pointing down at me. I don't like that. So, um, that's I learned that early on doing tarot readings is that there will be a question that somebody would ask, and we get something totally different. And I learned that from just a friend of mine once that I was reading a long time ago, almost 30 years ago. And he said that was deadly accurate. He said, but that's not the question I asked. That's in my head. He had something going in his head. So there you go. So that's what we'll do. We'll do a little bit of that. I'll read you, Daddy. Steph, thank you. How could I refuse with a request like that? Read me, Daddy. You got it. And let me take some coffee. I'm not going to read right away. I'm still getting my head on this morning. So we'll probably just do single card readings, which means I'll just shuffle in between people, and we'll see how that goes. And here I've got to make sure my notice got up there this morning over on my TikTok, because I do these daily readings over on TikTok. And since I put it up, I've only had 13 people see it. Sometimes within 5 minutes at TikTok, I'll have 200 people have viewed the reading of the day. It all depends on who's up and who's looking and who's doing what. And and if they even open up my video for the morning. So what am I saying? Where am I? Where's my head? See, my head's not even on yet. And I went to, yesterday was a lazy day. You ever have those days where I wanted to do some yard work and the lawn needs mowing? And of course, I go to my children and I said, "Who wants to mow the lawn today?" Crickets, nobody. I could have pointed, but I thought, nah. Rainy is gone with Ellery at camp for the weekend, and I thought, give everybody an easy weekend. There's no need to cram chores into the weekend other than the daily stuff to keep things neat. My older daughters were up for a day. They got here on. They come up for their grandmother on their mother's side, her birthday every year. I think she's like almost 100 years old or something, and so they try to make it up for that all the time. And so they had to go to that today, but they came up Friday and spent Friday night here, and then yesterday morning, then they had to go meet a friend of theirs here in town and then go to the party today. So I won't see them again this weekend. But with my daughters here, my older daughters here, and it being a little less crowded around the house and stuff going on, I thought, hey, let's just have a cash weekend. So I didn't do any lawn mowing, but I laid around. You ever have those days? I just kind of sat down after my daughters had to take off just before noon yesterday, and then sat down and watched something, fell asleep on the sofa. My kids did almost the same thing, nothing going on. And then I woke up, did some stuff, then sat down and watched something else and fell asleep. So it was one of those lazy sleeping Saturdays, which is rare. And so I ended up going to bed like 2:30 this morning because I'm wide awake because I slept, from like 11 to noon, and then again from about 3 to 4:30, something like that. And then I'm wide awake all night. That's the only problems with taking a nap. A nap, those things that we hated when we were little kids, and now we give a limb to be able to have a nap every day. And so I had a couple of naps that weren't because I was tired. It was because I was sitting down doing nothing. And it was just kind of nice. Tuck your legs up under and sit on the sofa. And we ordered pizza from Domino's yesterday. And the only reason I did it is because it was cheap. They got these $6.50 specials. And you can just load up on that. So I spent like $18 and fed my son, my daughter, myself, and a friend of my son's that was over for $18. How can you do that anymore? That's pretty good. So, and I got so much to do. That's the problem. Been working on my tattooing. I'm just catching you up here. Working on tattooing. I had to order more skins yesterday for my practice stuff. And so that's going well. It's going all right. Now, Steph, all you got to do is say, tattoo me, daddy, to match your read me, daddy. Oh, the places my mind goes. See, I can be that way. I can, because it's Happy Lap Dance Day, says Field Guy. And the same to you, Field Guy. If you had as many kids as I did, you'd realize, hey, I haven't had a lap dance for like 50 years. So for those of you that care about those things. So, and I don't really care about those things. So anyway, no, I'm not going to talk about that. Ink me, daddy. There it is. Ink me, daddy. That's a great line. So, yeah, all I'm doing with my tattooing is just making sure I'm precision enough that my lines are clean. And it's learning all the needle tips. It's like, what is going to be the right depth? What is going to be the right width of needle? And you go, oh, this needs a fine line. And then I now, like, my daughters were up, and my one daughter is married to Bryn is married to Zach, who about 10 years ago, they opened up their tattoo shop in Charlotte, North Carolina. He and his friend Zach is not a tattoo artist. Zach is the business brain behind everything. And his partner, Chris Toller, if I have all my facts straight, they launched this little tattoo shop, and they're now in 3 locations. And so my daughter has gotten to know, both of them have gotten to know tattooing pretty well because of that, because those my son-in-law's shop is probably one of the premier shops in Charlotte, North Carolina. Probably the premier shop, for all I know. And it's called Seventh Sin Tattoo. So go look them up. Spell out seventh, not 7th. It's Seventh Sin Tattoo. And you'll see what my son-in-law does. And if you go into their artists, I think it's called, their artist section or something like that, if you scroll all the way to the bottom of that, you'll see Zach. There's a picture and a little bio of Zach. He's not one of the tattoo artists, although I think he's been learning too. But Chris Toller is the god over there. He's the guy that does all the, he inspires me. He does all those portraits on people, and they're just photorealistic. And he does all the watercolor washy things and a lot of black and grays for his tattoos. If you go over to Instagram and look up Chris Toller, Toler, you're going to see the kind of stuff they do at Seventh Sin. So Steph says, I honestly say that to my tattoo artist. He laughs and says, then assume the position and let me get the needle, the right needle size. Boom. There it is. So, yeah, I'm going to have to, I'm looking forward to the day where I'm doing tattooing every day. And it's real. It's not just, look at my hands. I didn't put on rubber gloves, and I got this is from the stencils on the skins. And the stencil is just like, it's like old carbon paper, if you're old enough to remember that stuff. And you run it through the little heat printer and burns the image onto a stencil with a carbon. So, and if you're not careful while you're tattooing, that stuff will rub off on you. That's what that is, for me leaning my hand. So, and Rowan sat down here. My 12-year-old wants to learn how to do this too. And so she's doing some of the things I'm doing with the tattooing. And she filled up bits and pieces of a skin over there, and I'd stenciled out a Celtic knotwork dog that I didn't tattoo on, and she was working on her line work yesterday. So she said, maybe by the time I'm 18, I'll be good. And I said, maybe by the time you're 18, I'll be good too. Hey, Sterling, good to see you over in Japan. He said, I started watching a new series on HBO called Ren Fair. And I thought about you, Scotty. Cheers. Thanks, Sterling. I heard all about that series, and I saw some clips on it. And one of them has, one of the clips I saw has George, who helped launch the Minnesota Renaissance Festival, but then went down to Texas and owns TRF, Texas Renaissance Festival. He's an old dude now. I mean, I'm old, but I'm not old. I'm not even middle-aged old. He's elderly old. And same as his partner who had started the Minnesota Renaissance Festival with him and still owns it up here. They're all old rich dudes. And but old rich hippie dudes, kind of, they're not. Don't think staunch white shirt, starched shirt, tie, suit and tie, a rich dude sitting in an office somewhere. They're old, casual millionaires, So, and they made a big off Renfests. And my good friend Carr was watching that, and he said, "What a I don't remember the exact adjectives he used, but he said he did not like it at all." And Carr has been Renaissance festivals for 50 years. And so since he was a little kid, he was raised out there practically. And he said, I didn't like it at all, he said. And so now I'm going to have to watch it to see why I'm not going to like it. If Carr didn't like it, I'm pretty sure I'm not going to like it either. He didn't think it was a good representation of what fair is about. Carr started some of what he did. He started a company, and he kind of made a name for himself and made some pretty darn good money writing business books about, and he's a writer anyway, but writing business books. And he had a kind of a traveling, you almost want to call it a business management type of a thing that he brought people along, some of the entertainers from the festival, and would go to companies. It's like, I just remember, just as an example, Guinness Breweries flew him over and wined him and dined him and had him speak to the Guinness employees a few years back. And so he was pretty well known at it. Hey, Heather White, happy Father's Day to you too. Because as far as I understand it, you are mom and dad to your kids. So glad to have you, Heather. Good to see you. How's Scotland this afternoon? And I'm glad you're here. And so let's see what else about Carr and Renaissance. That's all I was saying about Renaissance. Is Carr's that very positive side of the Renaissance Festival. You're there, you entertain, you bring yourself, you bring your attitude, and you have fun and you entertain people. And his business model that he set up was set up on, I think it was called Top Performer, was his show, for lack of a better management. You know how companies bring in companies that will help them with their management issues or the toxic work environments and things like that, and talk to the employees. His was called Top Performer. And he used that fish philosophy of being there, bringing your attitude, making someone else's day. And Carr was a top performer on the street at the Renaissance Festival. He had a character that didn't really talk to you, but his antics on the street. He played a character called the Rat Catcher. And he was just grimy and all this. And the things he did on the street were just, he would gather crowds of hundreds of people in big circles around him as he was just doing nothing for a half an hour, just entertaining and without talking. Um, and so he brought that into his business model, how to be a top performer. And I got to tell you something, the way I talk on radio, the way I talk in life, the way I talk in business, the way I present myself, you can really bring those all back to that top performance type of thinking from the Renaissance Festival. Being on the street and entertaining people and giving a cogent performance, and if you have an established character, keeping in your character, and all of that was amazing for teaching me 30 years ago how to talk to people. And I use that every day. I still, when I answer my phone, it's like, if somebody's calling my phone, this is my business phone. It's like, good morning, Scotty Roberts, and you don't go, hello, hello. My kids would do that. They'd pick up whenever I call them on their phone, hello. I go, is that the way we answer the phone? I said, answer the phone with confidence. Let people know. Don't be bored or anything, let them know. This is me. This is who I am. Good morning. So it's the same thing I do on the radio. So the festival taught me a lot of stuff. And that, according to what I got from the little bit I saw what Carr said about the show, Sterling Ren Fair. What is that? What it's called? Ren Fair on HBO. I do want to see that. I want to see it for myself. But he said, hey, he says, didn't like it. Anyway, what else is going on? Phone calls are potential opportunities. That's right. Everything's a potential opportunity. But Carr, when Rainey and I went out with Carr and Marion for drinks and a little dinner a couple of months back, he was like, that's how he would grow his business. And the things he was doing, he says, you go to the municipal things, the city hall things, you meet people in your town, in your area, your neighbors, and you go out of your way. And I'm always that way with my neighbors. There are some people that want to move into neighborhoods and maybe they're buying a house. You ever think about this? People buy a house because they want to live somewhere. They want to put down roots. I want to own this house. They aren't always just thinking, well, this is my starter house and I'm going to move on in 3 years to a bigger house. Though some people do that and some people have that plan. But if you finally settle down into a house, don't you want to know who's living around you? Don't you want to know your neighbors? Don't you want to be in good communication with the people that live, 50 feet away from you if you're living in town? I do. I want to know those people. I want to know who they are. And so, segueing off of something Sarah said, phone calls are potential opportunities. I also think being a good neighbor is a good opportunity. Now, we have neighbors on one side of us. I've mentioned this before. They put up a big 8-foot, 7-foot, 8-foot privacy fence along our side yard. They are on the side street from us, and we're one house from the corner. So their backyard bumps up against our side yard. And they put up a big privacy fence all the way around. We would talk to them when we first, over a year ago. We'd walk over. I was smoking more at the time. I was smoking at the time. Like I say, I've smoked 8 cigarettes in almost a year, 11 months. So boom. Used to be a pack and a half a day. I've had 8 cigarettes in a year. My daughters were like, well, Dad, you should make that none. I go, come on. I said, allow me a little vice every now and then, Anyway, and I could pick up smoking again real easily. But there are times I'll take a cigarette and I'll set it down and I'm going to go out and have a smoke this. I feel like it today. And it'll sit there and I'll find it again there 2 days from now. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, it's not a need anymore. But every now and then I want to go have one. So anyway, they put up a privacy fence, and that's fine. That's cool. Put up a privacy fence. I got nothing wrong with that. But Rainey told me the other day, I just bumped into the neighbor at the store the other day. We haven't seen their faces in a year now since they finished their fence, almost a year. And they built it last summer. And they've got kids my kids' age. They never see each other. They never do anything together. My kids have friends in other parts of the neighborhoods and other parts of the town, but not the next door neighbors. And we don't even know them anymore. I haven't seen their faces in a year. So, but they're my neighbors right next door. We got this woman that's a school teacher. She's married. They don't have any kids yet. They had a big yard party the other day, last weekend. And we weren't invited, and I'm not offended by that at all. But I thought, if I'm going to have a yard party and invite some people over, I might go to my neighbors and go, hey, come on over and, we'll throw a burger on for you or something, or come over and have a beer or a pop. And we got the neighbor on the other side of us that's on that corner. We're kind of at the middle of if you take a city block, we're right in the middle with a big yard, and then we got the two corner houses on either corner, on either side of us. So our yard runs deep, and so when you turn those corners, all those houses bump up against our backyard. And so if I had a party, I'd invite my neighbors. Or if I saw them out or walk by or out in the yard, I'd go, hey, come on over. Having a party. Having a yard party. And that's what I think is missing in America, in our culture. But that's the kind of outgoing I developed from the Renaissance Festival. It was getting out there and putting yourself out there. And what do I care if somebody doesn't like the way I say something or say hello or the shirt I'm wearing or whatever it is? I don't care. And I developed hey, I'm a person, you're a person, doesn't matter. If I'm a little outgoing toward you and you don't like it, I'll learn that soon enough. But I think we need to know our neighbors. We need to know the people around us. That's part of, Sarah said, supportive community is important. Hey, Roger Rabbit. Hey, Barbara. We got Barbie D that comes in. Then we've got Barbara. Unoffendable is in. She said, I got a vape that has no nicotine. It's mint flavored, reminds me of menthol. Well, there you go. I had a vape that was once pure THC or whatever that is. I don't even, pure is probably the wrong word. I smoked, it was something. I don't know what it was. I was stoned in like 30 seconds for like 6 hours. Only puffs in the last month. There you go. Yeah, and I don't, if somebody wants to smoke, smoke. I'm not a smoke Nazi because I quit. If you can, but I also have good friends like John Ward, my archaeologist friend, British archaeologist friend. Most everybody knows because he made an announcement and he talked about it, all his treatments. He got lung cancer last year. And now he's a smoke Nazi, But he and I, when we'd get together, we were bad for each other because we smoked every 10 minutes. We could smoke 2 packs a day walking through the desert. And, that's the way it was. And I enjoy. Now, I will say this. I miss smoking, but only from the sense of I enjoyed it. It was something I liked doing. I didn't smoke because I was addicted to smoking. I smoked because I enjoyed it. I liked the act of smoking. But, people are, well, why don't you replace it with something good? Like what? I'm going to stick a lollipop in my mouth every time I feel like a smoke? Smoking was different than chewing gum or meditating or, I don't know, whatever. You plug in whatever you want to do to say, yeah, what takes the edge off my craving? Smoking a cigarette. Whenever I get a craving for a cigarette, I just light one up. It takes the edge off wanting to smoke. And I'm not mocking you, Barbara. I'm mocking myself because, that's the way it is. Oh, my wife just said hi. Hi. There, I just typed back to her. On radio show, dial in and say hi. I'm going to, here, let me paste that. Maybe we'll get a rainy sighting today. Let's see. I'm going to invite her. Copy. Boom. 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 She can do that on her phone if she's not, doing all kinds of Scoutmaster activities this morning. So there we are. Where did my screen go? Make my way back to StreamYard. There, and since I've got that going, I'm going to paste this in if anybody wants to call in this morning. There it is. I'm going to do a reading right now. I'm going to do some readings this morning. If you would like to do have me do a tarot reading for you. Tarot. I say tarot, you say tarot, and I don't care. I had somebody tell me once they thought I was being highbrow. I would never get a reading from you because you call it tarot. And she spelled it Turrow. It's tarot. And I said, I don't care. So that doesn't bother me. So, hey, JP.
Hey.
How you doing?
How's it going?
It's going well. I am going to do...
I can't hear you.
Huh? You can't hear me?
Weird.
Can everybody else hear me?
Hang on. Let me check my settings.
Everybody else can hear me fine. I heard your lighter.
Yeah. No, that's working.
I heard that. So I can hear you smoking. Not sure what's going on over there. Turn your sound up. Okay, good. Everybody else can hear me. Let's see. I'm going to, let's do a reading because Steph Cuervo Queen. I wish I had a voice like Antonio Banderas, because I could say Steph Cuervo Queen with my best Rainy said long, wet, sleepless night. Oh, maybe I shouldn't be reading this in public.
Oh.
I should put hello? Hello? Can you hear me?
Can you hear me now?
Can you hear me now? So Rainy said long, wet, sleepless night last night. And I'm like, oh, well, I have that effect on my wife,
Oh, Lord.
She said, Ellery had to tell me by lunch if she wants to stay or go. The tent leaked. They had thunderstorms last night. All my clothes are wet. Lost my sunglasses. Bought a $20 hat, then found my shades. How's your day? On the radio show, do you want me to come and fetch you? She's about an hour and a half away from here, is where their camp is. So they have one more night. They're coming back tomorrow. But she said, and it's supposed to be like over 100 degrees today and really stinking humid from the thunderstorms that rolled through here. And so her clothes are all wet. The tent was wet. And it's humid, which means your clothes are not going to dry off. And you can hang them up. They'll still be wet tonight. So
I don't know about that.
Yeah.
I have had clothes hung up to dry when it's been, Alabama, 100% humidity, 98 degrees kind of stuff.
Right.
And they'll dry out. They'll dry out.
Roger Rabbit says, damn, she had that kind of a night without you? What kind of travel toy did you buy her?
Jesus, Mary and Joseph.
I called in a thunderstorm and a leaky tent, apparently. And she told me last night, and there was the hint of, now I'm not accusing my wife of this in the least at all. I'm just going to say, you know how wives are and girlfriends are, it's like, my tent leaked all last night and you were supposed to buy me a new one, weren't you?
Oh,
That's not how it was said. She goes, and that's why I wanted a new tent, because she told me earlier in the summer I want a new tent. And so I was looking for new tents to buy her, and no, she didn't want that kind. I was going to find her an easy one, one of those pop-up tents.
yeah.
You lay it down, you hit the little button, it goes whoosh, and in 30 seconds you got a tent. But they're a
Yeah,
bitch to take down apparently and fold back up. So she didn't want that kind. And she wanted a smaller one. I said, we should get one that we can take like a family tent, I saw all these 8-person tents that were great, because when I camp with my family, I want to have room,
right.
I don't want to be crouched down and trying to put on a pair of jeans while my kids are under my feet and there's blankets and air mattresses. I want space, spaciousness. Now, like when we did our regiment, it was all, troop tents, canvas tents that were made to look period style. Well, not much you can do differently other than, better stitch machines putting them together and grommets and things like that. But we had little troop tents, little A-frame tents, one-man tents, that they used to sleep four or 5 men in. Man, we just did them individually. And if you were a rich soldier, which you weren't probably, instead of just hay, you made a rope tension bed. So you had these little, like the size of a camping cot, a couple of 2x4s or rough hewn wood, and we'd slap those together and do a rope tension bed. And but Dave Potter, Uncle Dave, he didn't want to be just a typical soldier, a private like us, and have to sleep that way. He said he wanted to be an officer. So he became an officer in our group, and he got one of those, they called them the George Washington tent, the marquee tents. They're like a big oval that are about, God, they've got to be 20 feet across by at least 15 feet. And it has 2 poles in the center because the roof, does like a big top, and it's got the little fringes around the top roof that comes down. And he did that, and he built a king-sized 4-poster period era 18th century bed and put it in there. Only it was a rope tension 18th century king-size bed, and with straw for mattresses and all of that. And he had a big table in there with his lanterns and his whole closet that was period, it was like a big wooden thing that would unfold and the doors would come out and it would have all this gear, and then it'd be open to the public when we do events so they could walk through and see this is how the officers lived. And it was pretty neat. But he had room. Oh, and he had Persian rugs that he'd throw down on the ground. So, walk on the grass, seriously, and so that's what we did. But I don't know how I got on. Oh, that's not what Rainey had this weekend. Was my
Clearly,
point.
no.
So I wanted to get her a tent, and then we couldn't decide on what to spend, so we never got it. And then by the time this camping trip comes up, she doesn't have the right tent.
Is it the tent itself that was leaking, or did she not have the rain slide, or?
I don't know. I know which tent she took, so I don't know if she didn't bring a tarp or it just leaked in the roof. I don't know I haven't gotten any details.
Yeah.
Just that it leaked.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if you tricks learned from having to assemble pup tents in the field with a battle buddy.
Yes.
If there's something wrong with the floor of your tent, you can always trench around the tent and then pile the spoil up on the tent side of the trench, and that will divert the water away and around.
Well, see, Roger Rabbit, he said, I pitch a huge tent. Well, I do too. That was always our euphemism. Pitching a tent. Listen to Roger's tent. He says, I pitch a huge tent. Takes about an hour to set up, though. You're getting older, I see. And it has 2 bedrooms, living room, and a screened-in porch. Wow. Yeah. The mosquito netting was our screened-in porch.
They have some of those that, and it's actually pretty cool because we used a similar system when I was in Afghanistan in our Alaska tents. But the structural rigidity of a tent comes from the air handling unit that you would attach to it. Okay. And so you have a tent, for the tent, because, it gets hot there. And sure. You would run that, and you'd have basically these ribs that would fill with air. And then you had small vent holes that would allow the air to blow out. And so you'd keep the inside cool, but you'd keep the tent up. And then you had other ones that had a frame kind of section on either end. But they have these ones that you can literally inflate, and that's where the structural rigidity comes from. And that they're like that. They've got a separate bedroom kind of thing, and they've got a cool little fly for a porch, and all of that stuff.
Heather, you had summer buckets of rain. We did too last night. We had a big thunderstorm. Must be a worldwide thing. And folks, if you don't know Heather, I've known her since I was with TAPS Paramag, which was 2009, 2010. Is when I met her. She's in Glasgow, Scotland. So,
give us some of that Glaswegian humor.
Glasgowegian humor. I love talking to her. Heather, you should call in. It's what is it there? It's about 4 p.m. there. So give us a call. Here's the link again if anybody needs it. Tell you what, guys, if you call in, let's do it this way. That's how we'll read through it this morning. If you guys want a reading this morning, call in. Now, I already told Steph I'd do hers. Steph, do you want to call in? Now that I changed the rule a little bit, since I said I'd do your reading, I've even got my cards in my hand. Steph, if you want a reading, you can call in. Or do you, you don't have to, because I didn't make that rule until just now. Heather says, I'm in my bed looking at a hot mess. And the problem is, no one needs to see that. Yeah, we do. Come on. All right, I might make an exception for her too. So, because she's an old friend. So, boom.
No one judges here. No one judges.
Yeah. We don't judge. Look at us. Do we look like we are like hot and ready to go out on the town? All we're lacking, well, JP over there, look at him. He's a hot mess right now.
I'm still working on my first cup of coffee.
Me too. I'm not even through my first cup of coffee. Steph is driving. So tell us when you're not driving. I'll read you. Tell you what, I'll read Jason since he's here.
Oh, okay.
How about that?
Sure.
And Steph, we'll get to you. And Heather, I'll get to you too. All right. There we go. I'm going to shuffle for Jason. I'm going to shuffle the deck 3 times just to shuffle it up. In between readings, we probably won't do a full shuffle. We'll just shuffle it once and go. But let's rearrange the cards for this morning, and let's see what we get. This is my small deck, and I like this deck. It's the Touchstone Tarot. And I'll show you something. I used this one lately on my TikTok, and it's nice and small and handy. I like that. But I was using her premium version of this deck, which came here. It's the Cat Black from New Zealand. This is the little book that comes with it, the Touchstone Tarot. And these cards, however, are a shuffling nightmare because they're big. They're big, oversized cards. So you can see my daily cards are these right here. And then this is her premium deck. So shuffling these things is like a monster. And it's like, I can't do the thing. And they're gilded edges. And so the shuffling's just weird on those. I have to do it a different way, in other words. But that's the deck, the Touchstone Tarot by Cat Black. She also did the Golden Tarot, which I have. She's out of New Zealand. She's got phenomenal decks. This deck right here I've had since 2008. This deck was
great.
I'm sorry.
Since you said that you're using the decks by Cat Black, I now have oh God, I can't think of his name. Early metal, hard rock and roll, long hair, avid hunter.
Conservative dude.
Yes.
Boy, I'm blanking on him too now all of a sudden. Oh my God. A field guy would know.
Right. It's like
I know who it is. It's not Jack.
Right,
it's not Ozzy. It's big conservative guy, hunter.
Cat Scratch Fever.
Yeah, that guy. I was going to say Cat Scratch Fever. What? I've gone blank too.
I know.
And I've said his name a million times. Ted Nugent.
Ted Nugent.
Thank you, Sarah. Sarah, the sharpest and brightest among us. She might look faulty, but she's the sharpest. She's the sharpest tool in the room. All right. Here, Jason, I've already shuffled. If you were here, I'd have you cut this deck. I have now cut it. Let's get you a card. A single card.
Already.
And your card is the Five of Swords, or Five of Wands.
5 of Wands.
Now, take a look at that for a second. You see a guy, he's kind of standing there. He's looking at you. He's got his staff. And behind him, a bunch of guys are like bickering and fighting with their quarterstaffs with each other. This is a card that says, now remember, a reading like this, a single card is vague. You have to pull other cards if you want more information and modify it. Well, what does that mean? What did that mean? This is just a single card, and it's a snapshot of the moment. So today, it says you might be experiencing a little lashback on something, or there are battles going on over you that you might be a part of, some conflicts. But the card, the original definition I found with this card 40 years ago when I started reading was mock battles. And it's kind of this thing of having battles that are going on around you, but they're not really super in depth. But they're battles that nonetheless are going on, and you have to deal with. You have to deal with people around you. You have to deal with what you have to be able to do. They're really battles that are meant to focus on the molding of character as opposed to fighting and winning ground. And it's facing adversity, develops your tact, and you might feel as though, you're kind of progressing, but it's too far delayed by the obstacles that keep getting thrown in front of you. And they might not be huge obstacles. It just might be the little niggling junk of everything. You go, I'm not getting over here because I got this and this and this that I constantly have to deal with. So this is a card that it can stand for miscommunication, misunderstandings that pose obstacles for moving forward. It's if I were to take and say, well, where's this card going to go? Where's it taking you? Might be an opportunity that requires you to tame your own personal boldness or brashness, or, hey, here's what I got to say about that. It might be, it's not saying don't do that, just saying, careful. There's these mock battles going on. If you insert yourself into that, people might go, well, who the hell are you? Why are you adding to this? So tame the boldness a touch in order to succeed and get past it. And no one can decide your actions that you're going to take except you. So you've got to rely on your own strength to achieve balance and to progress forward. But this is a card that really suggests the Five of Wands, these mock battles, suggest that you're being challenged in some way. Not just, oh, I love a good challenge. Not that. It's somebody's challenging you. Somebody or something or the obstacles are challenging you. And you have to defend your corner a bit with this. You have to defend your way of thinking against maybe what other people are thinking or what they're throwing in your way. And it might not be big negatives. It could just be stuff. And it more than intense struggle, it brings the feeling of struggling.
Yeah.
It brings anxiety, overall unease with maybe with internal battles.
I was just gonna ask if that was an internal thing, or could
Might
be.
be. And so there's enough foreboding with this card that if you were to put whatever's going on in your life right now to a yes or no, this would be like, no, not right now. Wait. So you've got this going on right now is what this is indicating. So there you go. I hope that's helpful. And just it says keep yourself in check. Think like you always do. Think boldly, but incorporate sometimes. I have to do this too because it's like, especially with my kids, it's like Rainey just yells at me. What she's really saying sometimes is, will you be a little more, could be my wife. So I'm looking. No, it's my son, Sam. Hey, Sam, on the radio. What you doing, buddy?
Yeah, I'm on the way.
Oh, you're coming over?
Yeah.
Right on.
I was just curious, if there's a few things that you have, or if I need to pick up a few things still.
I don't know what I got. What are you bringing?
Right now, all I have is the burgers and the buns.
Burgers and buns.
Oh, doing a Father's Day cookout, huh?
Chips or potato salad.
Potato salad would be good.
I can get some potato salad.
I've got baked beans.
All right, cool.
We could make it a real camp out type of food.
We got like some potato chips.
Not much for chips right now. The kids blast through those. They had friends over the weekend, and it's like all of a sudden there's no chips anywhere. So okay.
Potato salad and chips.
Potato salad, fiberglass, and beer. All right, son.
All right, Beldar.
All right, sounds good.
I'll see you when you get here. I'm down doing radio right now. It's 10 o'clock, so we've been going an hour already. We might go another hour. Hey, everybody, say hi to Sam.
Hey, Sam.
That's Jason saying, hey, Sam. So.
I'm on my way over, so I'll see you in a few.
All right, I'll talk to you in a few. See you, son. Bye. All right. It's Father's Day mini cookout. So
that's cool.
Audrey is here. Happy Father's Day, Scotty. Love you right back, Audrey. How the hell have you been? I haven't seen you for a while. So Audrey just got a busy life. She works for Disney now, and so I'm like, I never see you, I never see you. You never write. Oh. So. Dang, I'm jealous, says Roger Rabbit. I'll be joining your Father's Day cookout in spirit. Well, I wish you were here. I'd invite you over. So, yeah, but Sam called me last night, and he said, I'm going to come by with burgers. So I wasn't sure what the plan was. So he said burgers and brats last night. This morning, it's just burgers. That's okay. I can live without brats. I can eat them, but it's not my go-to food. I'm not like, oh, I am sure in the mood for beer brats today. It's not my thing. But they're good. I still like them if they're done well.
See, so. I need to put my smoker back into action so I can do real things.
Mine just got a smoker.
Yeah.
Rainey picked one up for free. Somebody, a big old, I don't know what the brand was. Big old black one. It's a brand name. I've seen it on something. Why does
Traeger
stick in my mind? But
what? Traeger Pit Boss.
Don't know. Neither of those two.
Okay.
But it's a name I recognized. It's like that rock singer with the long hair, not a vegetarian. He hunts. That guy.
A Nugent?
Yeah. Audrey said she's doing good at Disney, just transferred into their new accessibility services at Disney. I hung up my lightsaber. She was working for the Resistance at Disney, the Star Wars world. What's that called? Land's End, Galaxy's End.
Yeah,
Land's End.
I've not been there.
Land's End is a clothing store. So, field guy stepped on a nail yesterday, and he has holy feet.
Oh, Lord.
So there you go. Eat everything you can't have when Rainy is around. Well, that's funny, Sarah, that you would say that. My wife went gluten-free about 11 years ago, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Guess what? We all have to be gluten-free. So, but she's adapted to it, but I don't like the, I just won't eat because there's nothing here that you made so I've had to learn how to cook gluten-free. If I cook for the family, I cook gluten-free so Rainy can eat it. And I got to tell her, even now, 11 years later, this is all gluten-free. Yeah, field guy, I know. We've been through this. But it is and it isn't to a certain degree. And I read a bunch of stuff on that. So they say that sometimes people who don't need to be gluten-free can actually do damage to themselves by going gluten-free.
Huh.
So
I haven't heard that one. That's interesting.
Something I didn't know until, I'm sure it was several years ago now. Let's say I use a butter knife and I scoop out peanut butter and I spread it on my toast.
Yep.
And then Rainy wants some too, and I dip it in, and she goes, "No, I can't eat that because that knife touched bread." And I said, "What is gluten? What, like germs? It spreads. It's like the bubonic plague or something."
Some things can be. I don't know about gluten being that bad, but that also depends on the person's sensitivity to it too. You can have a higher sensitivity to things. So, I mean,
Audrey's off to visit her dad. All right. Hey, Heather White, are you still there? If you're still there, she says, sitting in my bed. Here you go. Sitting in my bed, eating a McDonald's, watching yous on the telly. Nice wee Sunday.
well, now you really should call in.
Now
So,
you need to call in. Yes.
We can see how those Glaswegians eat a McDonald's burger versus
in
an
bed
American
while
burger.
watching TV.
Right?
In the middle of the afternoon. So
See, that makes me wonder. I know some in the British Isles there is a tendency to sometimes eat things that we would eat by hand with a fork. Yes. I can't help but wonder: is she like sitting there, burger, plate?
Right.
How do you eat pizza, Heather?
Heather, how do you eat pizza?
Do you eat it with a fork and knife, or do you eat it by hand?
I'm gonna wager. This is my guess. Heather White is a hand and fold it and eat it. She is not a fork and knife pizza eater, is my guess.
Oh, so folding the slice.
See,
That's like New York style, right?
Here you go. Here's your answer. Ha! Stuff it in my face. There it is.
Hi, Sarah.
That was my guess. Sarah is a phenomenal artist, by the way. She's an illustrator, an artist. I've seen her do cakes. Remember those shows like Cake Boss? Some of the stuff she put up, I don't know if you're doing that anymore, Heather, but absolutely phenomenal cake making. All the artsy stuff and building stuff out of, I don't know, it's all edible. So, by the way, just for emphasis, she says without fork and knife. There you go.
Here.
That's the best way to eat it. Yeah, we had some New York style pizza last night with the kids. So,
wow. If I'd known Heather did cakes, I could have tried to contract her to do a cake for the Army's birthday back on Friday.
Oh, yeah.
and then brought it into work at the Air Force
Nice.
because I like to rub it in their face sometimes.
That's right.
It's all out of love. It is all out of love.
Nice. So here, let me. If you're not going to call in, Heather, we really need you to call in. We really do. Oh, and speaking of calling, I've got Sarah here too.
Why is Sarah being so quiet?
Because we're talking.
Yeah, I know, but I'm waiting
because
for some
she doesn't want to interrupt the men.
Oh God.
Is that it, Sarah?
Happy Father's Day, guys.
Why, thank you.
Thanks, Sarah. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
I have yet to receive a call from either of my offspring.
It's still early.
It's still early, and I might get something. I'm actually going to head down to Waynesville and go catch a show at the old theater I used to do stuff at. So they've got a late matinee performance of The Odd Couple.
Oh.
So maybe I'll get a call while I'm on a 2-hour slot.
Have you talked to your dad yet?
Not yet. I'll probably call here in a little bit when I get off of here. I know they're kind of in the middle of packing stuff up and clearing things out.
Hey, field guy, you missed it. I've been called daddy twice today, both by Steph. Steph was like, "Ink me, daddy," and she also was "Read me, daddy." So there you go.
See, and Sarah was saying that, and once again, we see where my brain is apparently today. Immediately, I went to the Andrews sisters.
Oh, and, yeah.
With that line, "Beat me, daddy, 8 to a bar."
Yeah, yep.
So,
you say Andrews sisters, I think of Mr. Sandman. Make me a dream. Make him the cutest that I've ever seen. Of course, I don't like to sing that in the male tone, like
one quick question to go back to the pizza thing.
Say that again.
I had a quick question about the pizza thing.
Oh, X.
If you fold it in half, doesn't that kind of technically turn it into a calzone?
You know what? As soon as you started saying if you fold it in half, I was like, she's going to say it's calzone.
It's a calzone. Yeah. Pretty much, except if it's New York style pizza, it's greasy.
Well,
so you got to have the grease on a New York style. I said California. New York style pizza. You fold it in half, it becomes a calzone, but a calzone doesn't leave grease running down your elbow.
Yes, New York pizza is greasy, like it's politics.
Yeah. Yes. Sarah, I'm going to draw a card for you.
Chicago's just confused, and they do it all upside down.
Chicago's weird.
I mean, I call that a casserole.
And then they shoot it in the head.
That's not pizza.
Okay. I mean, Chicago-style pizza, they fold it in half, tip it upside down, and shoot it in the head.
No, they line it up in a back alley, and then they just have people gun it down.
I don't fold it in half.
No, they Chicago style. Yeah,
Because Heather White. My kind of woman. Here you go, Sarah.
And then there's these really, really weird people who just eat the crust first. I mean, unless it's stuffed crust, it's like, who would do that?
Maybe they wanted breadsticks with their dinner, and so they started off with crust.
I'm not a crust thrower outer. I'll eat the crust unabashedly, but I usually save it for last. So,
it provides structural integrity to the piece somehow.
Well, yeah, right. I mean, I heard a lot of kids call it, this crust pizza bones, the bones of the pizza.
The pizza bones? Yeah.
Like wings or ribs?
I like stuffed crust pizza. How about that, Sarah? How about that, Heather? How about that, Jason?
Sure, I know how to make one.
Crust pizza.
I can get down with some stuffed crust pizza as long as the stuffed crust is good and what they put in it is good. Sometimes
you can put technically any sort of cheese, but the easiest cheese is the string cheese.
Yeah, but see, even then, if you use the wrong kind of string cheese, it just ends up string cheese tastes better cold, and when you heat it up, it's like it accentuates the saltiness of the string cheese, and it can become it throws everything out of balance.
Well, Sarah, I drew a card for you today.
Uh-oh.
I don't know how accurate this is for you because I don't know your intimate daily life. I know some details of what you do and so on, family business, things like that. But I got the 10 of swords. Now
That looks about right.
this can be a bleak card, but it is in the reverse.
Well, you just turn it upside down.
Which kind of gives it a little bit of a different meaning. The 10 of swords, somebody asked me yesterday or the day before, what do you think is the most negative card in the deck? And I said, off the top of my head, I said, well, I'd say probably the 10 of swords. So it's a bleak card, but not so bleak because it also has a positive in it. Now, does that look positive to you at all? The positive thing is that he's not dead. He's almost dead, to quote Billy Crystal from The Princess Bride.
No. He said true bluff. He said to Blade. Everyone knows.
Yes.
Bluff.
To Blade.
To be perfectly honest, I have not sat through The Princess Bride in its entirety.
Oh,
I mean, every time I go to sit down and something happens and I have to get it, I've seen it in parts, but not like
no, I'm out.
Yeah.
Princess Bride. I like the Princess Bride.
I'm out.
You're out? You're out? Out?
Is that strike one, Jason?
Yep, strike one.
I don't understand.
That's probably a strike two. We've just forgotten what strike one was by now.
I don't understand how people our age have not seen that movie or seen it all the way through.
Yeah. Well, Sarah's a lot younger than us. See, she's a kid. She's a millennial.
No.
Anyway.
My kids have seen this movie.
Yes, my kids call it an old movie. So, 10 of swords. All this means is you're laying on the side of the road, 10 swords protruding out of your back and side. The dog is there ready to lap up the blood once you're dead. But
roadkill.
And so it means pretty much you've kind of come to a situation where, what would you say about this? This is one of
being inundated in every direction.
Yes. Here's the things that can, in relationship.
Jason, can I switch cards with you?
In relationship, it stands for breaking up, separation, sadness, grief, pain, infidelity going on. In your career, it can mean the loss of a job. Office politics are dragging you down, that there's a breakdown in your job from stress, burnout, overworking. In finance, it's loss of finances. It's financial strain, failed investment. That's what this stands for. When you flip it over, however, it kind of changes the meaning. When it's upside down, it doesn't always, the reversal doesn't always mean a strict, and I always say, I don't read strict reversals because every single tarot card has its inherent positive and negatives. But in the reverse, it's kind of, when you see the 10 of swords, it's always, the feelings are very powerful that come with this card. And whether it's reversed or upright, and the card signals the finality of being defeated in something. It's and there's no way to avoid it. And when it's all over, you don't find somebody with 10 swords in their back and you pull all the swords out and they heal from it. But 20 years from now, they're still going to have, see these scars? That's where those 10 swords were. The scars are always going to be there. So there's no way to avoid it. There's things that have happened. And it's saying it because I got no other cards that modify this, telling me what it might be looking at. But in the reverse, it does mean healing from past wounds, healing, putting relationships back together that may have fallen apart. It could mean changing jobs or finding in your current job a less stressful way of dealing with the work, not getting burned out, or healing from being burned out. In the financial section, it's like avoiding bankruptcy. Woo! I just swung in on a corn cob on a hare over the pit of hell when it comes to my finances, is the idea with that almost, if it's relating to your finances. So in the reverse, it's got a slightly less stinging meaning, other than to say you've gone through something that's revealing this. In the upside down, it's saying you might still be suffering some of the pain from that burnout, relationship, finances not working the way you want them to, stress at the job. I would, and this is what I mean by knowing a little bit about people. This is why I tell people never tell me what you want to know, because I know enough, and it's only about a thimbleful about what you do. I would imagine, my mind says, well, this is job related. This could be something stressful, burnout at job or so on, or, whatever. And when your family's involved, that can intensify those kinds of things. That could be relationships. That would be my guess. But see, that's what I mean by being biased by knowing something about the people that you read. So I don't know what it is. You can keep that private. You don't have to tell me or anybody. But that's your card that I drew for you.
So, I mean, just as long as it seems pretty consistent, it's like first it's saying if it's not reversed, I'm screwed. So, if it's
if you're not reversed, it's it just means there's some. If it wasn't in the reverse, it came up in the reverse for a reason,
right?
So if it's the upright meaning, it's kind of bleak. It's kind of devastating. It's got this edge to it that is not very, shall we say, palatable. And it's kind of.
Oh yeah, I get it. And regardless of whether it's palatable or not, I'm the type of person that leaves it to God. So,
Yeah. Well, this is also, this card kind of stands for, this is coming to mind from things I've read about this card in the past and said about this card in the past. Somebody who doesn't know much about this card or how to think about it can use it for faulty reasons. It kind of, it's a card that says
any form of data can be twisted.
Right.
That's anything in life. So.
The danger with this card is to
believe in it.
Not believe in it, but I think to make the mistake of using the card to say, I've got no way to change anything. And spend a lifetime, a veritable lifetime, attempting to run away from the power that you either misused or misappropriated or whatever. That's when the cards, I think this is helpful. Even when it's a negative message, I think it's like, I've always likened it to God snapping his finger in your face saying, listen to this. This is something that might be going on, or it's going on, and here's how you avoid it by knowing what it means. It's like knowledge is the schoolmaster.
Basically, it's a call for therapy and shadow work.
Right.
It's to
self-therapy even sometimes. It could be just self-therapy. Right. It could be the realization that I've done this or this has happened and here's what I need to do. Now, if the card is saying you're feeling these things or these things are, what do you do to get out of that? You do the opposite. You set your mind to, not necessarily the direct opposite, but you do something different. You regroup and you move another way. And it's like, okay, I just casually in my head said, I'm going to draw the next card off the top of the deck and see if it modifies that. You got the Magician. What's the Magician do?
Modify.
The Magician harnesses all the energies around him.
Transforms.
The metaphor to make the spell that manifests what he wants in life. So that's modifying your Ten of Swords right now. How about that?
Well, it's like that saying, you suffer now to make for a better future.
Right.
I mean, I should have a really, really good future.
Yeah. If suffering indicates good future, my future's sparkling, So, and I'm one of those that I tend to, I bristle a bit at the notion that, and this is just off the cuff, this isn't the tarot reading. I bristle at the notion that we have to suffer in order to get better. I think there's a universal law there, however, that says it's the sufferings we do go through, the lessons we learn that bring wisdom. But I always, like, I've mentioned
Suffering
this
brings
guy before.
understanding.
Yes.
Yeah. So
When
you
I
understand.
was in seminary and ministry, I've mentioned before, there was a guy named Jim Elliot that was kind of a hero of the faith to me. It's like, if, say you're Jason and you are military, and during your time there, we have military heroes, we have historical heroes, we have the heroes that we have. And when I was in ministry, Jim Elliot was a hero of the faith to me. He was a normal guy, but he was a missionary. He was one of the 5 missionaries that was killed by the Auca Indians in 1957. They would, they had a little Piper, a yellow Piper airplane that they would fly in, and the Auca tribe, that's it, the Auca Indians, and they would drop a bucket on the line, and they devised a way to fly in a circle that would make that rope that they dropped down with a bucket almost stationary. And they drop it down with gifts and things. And they finally landed on a beach on the river, and they started befriending them. And this is a tribe that had not been befriended before. And then a few days go by after their second or third trip out there, and they didn't hear from them. They didn't come back. They sent out a search party. Sure enough, they find the plane. It's in the river. It's torn to bits, and their bodies were all in the river with spears through them and all this. So the Aucas attacked them and killed them all. And that was the big story in 1957. Then his wife, Elizabeth Elliot, who I think just passed away not too long ago, she actually, with their little daughter, 5, 6 years old, went back in to the Aucas. And I mean, it's a pretty amazing story. And she lived with them for years. And they, one by one, as she got to know these guys, and of course, they were doing their missionary bit with them. But she said that the men who killed her husband all asked forgiveness of her and said, and what she ascertained was it was the unknown. They had no knowledge of the outer world, and it was the unknown, and they killed these guys for a reason, and not because they were cold-blooded murderers. And but her book was called Through Gates of Splendor, which was a big best-selling book back 50 years ago. But all this to say, Jim Elliot, I was just giving background on him. We're talking about all the hardships and stuff that make us into who we are. I used to ask the question, I'd say, rhetorically of myself, why do I have to go through hardship to gain wisdom? Why can't I gain wisdom by fun stuff, that I like to do? And maybe there is some of that comes, from the fun stuff and the adventure. But Jim Elliot had once said, he made this statement in I had a book, it was the Journals of Jim Elliot, and it was all his words. And he had said, if God is going to use a man greatly, or you could supplant woman, he meant anybody. If God is going to use me greatly, he's going to allow me to be wounded deeply. And I think he didn't even have, my paraphrase was the word allow that I added in there when I would talk about this kind of stuff. He said, if God is going to use me greatly, he's going to wound me deeply. And I thought, why do I have to be wounded in order to... Now, I look back at my own life. I look at the things that are the wounds in my life and things where I've said, I don't camp in the past. I can't. If I camped in the past, I'm not growing. I'm not learning wisdom. I'm not progressing forward. So the wounds are for a reason, I guess. And does God, Sarah, in the context you brought up, does God wound us or just allow us to be wounded for the purpose of growing us? And I'm like, well, why do I need the wounding? I could do without the wounding.
Because sometimes we don't listen to the gentle prodding.
Ain't that the truth? Ain't that?
Well, it's the same
Sarah,
thing.
don't say a damn thing.
Parental relationship.
Yeah,
You know, think about what you're going through now.
right.
I mean, and certain lessons, you know, you can say it all you want, but certain things you have to experience. You know, in the not even in the, just, you know, being told what to do.
Jason.
Yes.
This is directly for you and me, I think.
Oh Lord.
Here we go. Boom.
Hey, look who showed up. Finally.
Where's that McDonald's?
I've ate it. It's in my belly.
In my belly. Nice.
All right, Mike Myers.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, in my belly.
I'm gonna get rid of this banner only because it tends to block everybody. There we go. All right. I see you've got your fuzzy pink on.
Roasted.
So is that a regular hoodie, or is that like one of those what do they call them, the Snuggies, where it's the blanket hoodie?
It's like a
Blanket.
Well,
Blanket hoodie. Hoodies.
Blanket.
Has it got feet in it?
no,
No feet.
no. It's just it goes down to about your knees, and it's got a big pocket, a big huge pocket, and it turns into a pillow.
Pockets are good.
That's yeah.
Pockets are
Especially when you're
underrated.
laying in bed eating McDonald's.
Exactly.
She hid the cheeseburger in the pocket so she didn't have to be on camera with it.
That's right.
His eyes heating up down there nicely.
So what kind of McDonald's meal did you have today?
I just had a Big Mac. I wasn't that hungry, so.
Hold on, wait. I wasn't that hungry, so I had a Big Mac.
Oh, they're not as big as they used to be. They're small, tiny.
Big Macs aren't as big as they used to be, Jason.
Sounds like McDonald's has a problem.
My kids order Big Mac meals now. It used to be, so do you want a Happy Meal? No, Dad, I want the Big Mac meal with large fries, please. So, and now they cost, my daughter and I went to McDonald's. She has an appointment once a week. And I take her to it, and then we usually buy late breakfast or lunch on the way home. We got fast food this time the other day, McDonald's. She got a Big Mac meal, and I got the meal with the 2 cheeseburgers. And now we're not talking like cookout cheeseburger, you know, and I had 2 of those monsters. We're talking about McDonald's cheeseburgers. You know, they're kind of that flat. They're almost like, hey, this is a cheeseburger wafer. And
what's sad is they're not even like smash burgers. They're just
I know
flat.
just
They're
flat
tiny.
cheeseburger.
But they're what?
They're tiny. They're not
Yeah.
Tiny.
like they used to be.
Do you?
And,
I know there's one in London, but I don't know where they've spread elsewhere in
There's
the British
obviously
Isles.
one in Glasgow.
No, not
California, I think.
Not Mickey D's. Not Mickey
Oh.
D's. They did
Smash
originate in
Burger?
California.
Smash
no, it's
Burger.
Five
Great.
Guys.
Five Guys. They're good, but
Like
like,
the peanut oil. The peanut oil.
Five Guys.
You got Five Guys. That's
I
cool.
will get into a knockdown, drag out fight with an entire army of people who are In-N-Out fans. Over
what?
Five In-N-Out fans, the In-N-Out burger. Yeah, I will get into a knockdown, drag out 1 on 100 fight in an alley over which burger's better. Five Guys is better all day long.
He'll have his metaphoric lead pipe with him for his rumble in the alley.
Metaphoric? Are you kidding me? No. I'll bring the lead pipe.
Real fucking lead pipe. So, all right. Let's. And all I was going to say about McDonald's, I don't know what it's like over there, but a Big Mac meal and a 2 cheeseburger meal, that would be a number 1 and a number 7. $20 for 2 people.
Yeah, what's your numbers looking like over there, Heather?
2 cheeseburgers is like a Big Mac anyway.
I was on. We've got Just Eat here, so we just go into an app and we just get something delivered for anywhere.
Yeah.
Oh,
And,
yeah.
Apps. Yeah.
I've
And I
got
was
the
on-
app, but I've never used it. Would you be, they came up on the speaker when I pulled up. Would you be ordering from the app today? You go, well, yeah, I could, but I forgot I had it. So,
there
that was
was
the other
on
header.
the app, see on the app there was they've got a squad deal now, so it's like you get 5 burgers and 5 packs of chips for
Oh.
£20.
Oh, 20 pounds for 5 burgers?
I think it was 5 burgers and 5 chips.
Are they regular, like the regular McDonald's
I think they were
cheeseburgers?
like Big Macs and something else.
Here,
remember.
and I can ask Siri.
Wow.
I think it's about $30.
I was gonna
Hey,
say 20
Siri,
quid for 5
What
burgers.
is 20 British pounds in dollars?
It's $25.37.
Oh, that's not bad. We're getting there.
What's going on with the pound sterling? That's
I was going to say,
a little low
you
today.
guys must be doing bad over there economically, because a year ago we were almost double the British pound.
What?
Now it says we're only $5. Your 20 pounds is $25 here. That used to be almost $40 a year ago.
It's 79 cents per dollar.
Wow.
So it's almost equal.
There you go.
20 cents off.
Oh, we're almost equal. So, okay.
Wait.
Well, it's not so bad.
Wait, the what?
We lost Heather's
no.
visual. We've lost her visual. You still there, Heather? Or did you
I don't know what
disappear?
happened there.
Oh, there you are. Okay, let me do your reading.
Yeah, go
before
ahead
we
and do
lose
your
you
reading.
completely. Here, I'm going to shuffle one time for you here, and we'll draw a card for you. If it's the guy laying in bed eating McDonald's card, you'll know it's accurate.
Fat bastard for Austin
Yeah.
Powers.
Okay, what we do have, it's the Knight of Swords. You think I'd know it just by the picture. We've got the Knight of Swords, but it came up in reverse, which is just a slightly different version of it upright. So the Knight of Swords, he's a good-looking guy. Sometimes they can represent people in our lives, sometimes just more than often than not. It's just us. And this is the idea of you wanting to have what leads up to this card. First of all, swords, suit of conflict. It's conflict you get, conflict you give. This guy, the knights, are always in movement. They're always somebody that represents, the 4 knights in the deck represent moving from one thing to another thing. This guy he's somebody that he's representing in you a desire for change that's been growing and strengthening inside of you. And you have to plan all of your future objectives, but you got to keep them to yourself is the idea, because the Knight of Swords tends to be the guy that rushes in. I've got the sword. I know what I'm doing. I'm amazing at it. C'est moi.
Impulsive.
Type of a knight to the table round should be invincible, kind of guy. And so now in the very present with this card, you're going to gain the I want to see how to word this, the attention of a young upstart. It's kind of like you've got a problem that has to be solved that you can only solve it through the help of others, or the help that you receive, or that you're going out and looking for and receiving. And you have to be prepared to deal with a new problem, is the idea with this. That's what the reverse brings in. There's something coming where you can be bold and brash and jump into things. And I know you a little bit, and some of the things that you do, the projects you've been involved in, the artistic stuff you do, maybe the jobs. And if this is still accurate information, a couple weeks ago, you said, I don't know if you said it to me or I saw a post, something about possibly a breakup or a break off with somebody after a long term. And so this is something that says, the Knight says there might be something new. It could be new work, new relationship, new money issues coming, and you're ready to jump in because you're a jump in kind of person. I'm going to jump in. I'm going to think this through, but I've got emotions and passion that back me up. In the reverse, it's saying, be careful what you're getting into next. Use your passion. That's an upside of you, but the idea is it's kind of like your life's compass might suddenly be realigned by a dramatic change in your perspective on something. And this is one that says, look to your friends, look to your loved ones for your encouragement. And keep in mind, the Knight of Swords is domineering. This is your inner personality. You've got a domineering, I'm going to get this done. I've always looked at you, and I know this about you. My evaluation of you that I've known over the last 10 years, young woman with 2 boys and all the stuff, you're powerful. You've got a lot of inner power and strength, and you put it in your passions, into your art, into your businesses, that you've done the things you get yourself involved in, and you're kind of a no-nonsense, this is what I do, damn it. You're kind of a damn the torpedoes and full speed ahead type of person. Yeah. So this is saying you're dominant. You can be, but your dominance can be destructive sometimes if you're not careful. This guy on this card represents taking control of your projects, taking control of your situation, taking control of the relationship stuff that's going on. But be careful, because in the reverse, you can sometimes be a little ruthless. You would say, it would be like somebody saying, yeah, I know that Heather White. She's all these great things. Man, is she a bitch on wheels? So this is saying you can have that tendency. So this card, especially in the reverse, kind of it portends unexpected loss in something or conflict. And it's a temporal card, by the way. This is today, your immediate environs. Something's not going to go right. You're going to lose something. You're not going to get exactly what you want out of something. There's going to be conflict. And you need to establish your own, in the reverse, you need to establish your own beliefs and your ideas. Be strong about them. But there is a negative tone to the reversal of this. And so keep moving forward. Keep doing what you do, but be careful not to push too hard, because you could push yourself right into a bad corner, is the idea with that energy. Any of that make any sense? I hope that works.
It does.
Good. And so it also says, and so sit in your fuzzy pink pajamas, eating McDonald's, stuffing your messy face with while watching TV.
Hey, sometimes it's just what you need to do.
There it is. Yep. That's what you got to do. I get it. So tell us something else. What's going on in Scotland other than rain today?
Absolutely hee-haw. Nothing.
Nothing?
Nothing at all. Just chilling today.
Warm or cold there?
It's cold.
It's cool. Right on.
Probably about 12 here.
It's going to be over 100 degrees here today and humid, which is, hold on. Some people might be able to do this. Hey, Siri, what is 100 degrees in
Celsius?
Celsius. Oh, 100 degrees Celsius. No. Okay. I said that wrong.
Computer.
Hey, Siri, what is 100 degrees Fahrenheit in Celsius?
100 degrees Fahrenheit is about 38 degrees.
There you go.
38 degrees.
37.78 degrees today. And
like 12,
really
12
high
here.
humidity.
I always have to wonder when I hear northern Midwestern states people say high humidity. Just
High
exactly
humidity is-
what they consider high humidity.
We are like Northwoods tropical rainforest.
Okay.
So, up here where I live, Heather, is different from where Jason lives. You go down south here, you got palm trees and alligators and swamps. Up here, you've got pine forests and Bigfoot. And So we don't have any of that. But the one beautiful thing I like, and I've said this before, that I like about living where I live is the change in seasons, because we may have cold, harsh winters where it gets 20 below zero and you're freezing your ass off for 4 months out of the year. But then you got summer, which is the total opposite. It's like if we didn't have winter in the middle, we'd have swamps and alligators and snakes up here too. But we got winter, which kills all those things off. So we've got hot and humid. Humid being really high dew points, really high humidity. You walk outside and it's hot outside. If it's like, you know what wind chill is? If it's like it's 20 degrees outside or over there, it's -5 degrees, and you walk outside, but it feels like it's -30 because of the wind. Now, the same up here. Wintertime, it could be 20 degrees, but the wind's blowing and it gives you a wind chill of 4. And you're like, holy shit, it's really cold. Same in the summer. That's what humidity does. It could be a pleasant 70 degrees. And you're like, this is wonderful. It's dry. It's beautiful. I like being outside. But if your dew point at 70 bunches up to, your dew point's up to 89 and your humidity is at 93, you walk outside and it's like an oppressive wet oven. So that's what it's getting like today, Jason.
I don't know about
my northern view of humidity.
I don't think I ever experienced oppressive wet hot oven while I was in North Dakota. So it may be different there in Wisconsin. Now, I did experience that stuff in southern Alabama. Well, really all of Alabama. Yeah, where it would definitely be.
No, something.
Jason Rogers got fighting words.
What was? Yeah. John Ward said yesterday something about
it's going to be the Jets and the Sharks before you know it.
Yeah. When you're a jet, all the way from your first cigarette to your last dying day.
Break into a dance.
Yeah, breaking it. Da-da-da-da. My switchblade. Da-da-da-da. I'm going to sing with my switchblade. Because what was one of the lines? Because every Puerto Rican's a lousy chicken. Oh, there it is. He's a jet.
And it's a comb.
It's a comb. Why am I not surprised? Here, all I've got is this. And now it's real, but I use it as a letter opener. It sits on my desk. I got that in Egypt.
What do I have?
Shop. The guy goes, "Come buy genuine Egyptian blade," and I pull it, and it's got the little hieroglyphic things on it, and right on the blade, it says "Made in China." And so I bought it anyway. It cost me about $5 American, so it's my letter opener. So,
have you ever been to Cyprus?
What's that?
I can either.
Have you ever been to Cyprus?
Oh, what?
Cyprus?
Yeah.
Cyprus, the island of Cyprus.
Do I?
Have you ever been?
Have you ever been to Cyprus? She's at.
Oh, Cyprus. I kept hearing cyber something, and sorry about that. And I have not been to Cyprus. I'd love to go to Cyprus. So
well, I'm going there next week for a week.
Yeah, I'm going next week. What are you
going
to do in
Cyprus? Are you part Cypriot?
No, just going. I'm going for a friend's wedding, so. And
it's
40
fun.
degrees over there now.
Very nice.
I had a friend's wedding in Cyprus. Are they
beautiful.
paying for you to go? Are they
No.
paying your way? Oh, I just thought it was like, I'm in the wedding, so they're paying for me to fly to Cyprus. I'm like, wow, there's a plus.
Travel in the European and British Isles region is a lot more reasonable than it is here in the States.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember I was trying to get Wendy to fly out to Egypt once when I was out there, and it would have cost me like $900 to fly to Cairo. from here, round trip, which isn't bad when you think about it.
No.
And then it was about another $125 to go Cairo to Luxor. And I think it was going to cost her like 300 pounds to fly from London to Luxor. It's like,
That's
wow,
not bad at all. Yeah.
That was
But
like-
I remember flying
That's a
from,
year.
oh gosh, had to hop a flight on either Ryanair or Aer Lingus.
I'm sorry, Aer Lingus. Did you say?
Those were Irish Airlines, Scotty.
Yeah, I used Aer Lingus when I went to Ireland.
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry. Something totally different flashed through my mind. It was like the Mile High Club just took on a whole different thing. Come and fly Aer Lingus.
Well, but see, that's the thing though, when they do it, and Heather can probably attest to this in general, it's not like, oh, here's your peanuts, here's your crackers, or your beverage. I've got leg. No, it's like, however many sardines you can pack into that tin can, and
Right.
and it's transportation, and that's it.
And overseas flights should never be like they are, like a domestic flight where you're sitting in a chair like this, and you have
Right.
somebody here and somebody here, and only one person can put their elbow down. On
It's
arm.
like that now, and the
Right.
seats have gotten smaller.
And when you're flying overseas and it takes you 8 hours to get somewhere, you shouldn't be crammed into that.
Man, I tell you, what was that, an A300 Airbus that I came back from Afghanistan on? Oh, that was a nice flight.
I don't have the money to be able to go first class to fly overseas, although that would be nice. Your $900 ticket to Cairo turns into a $7,500 ticket to Cairo.
Right.
It's like, I got better things to spend my money on. I'll be uncomfortable for a while. I've always lucked out. Whenever I've flown overseas, I always get the row where nobody else is sitting. So I can put up all the armrests and just lay down. I get a couple of blankets and pillows and push, I'm out. And, but then I had the guy, I got to tell you this, flying from Luxor to Cairo. There was a local guy that was flying from Luxor to Cairo, and he had a box of cats, a cardboard box. He had it on his lap. There he is. He's sitting in his chair, and he's like, you hear beating on and it smelled like
away from catching a ride on Laos Airways.
It was about it. I'll bet. And I'm just like, and dude, it smelled like a litter box.
Oh.
And it's like, dude, you really, you've got to transport your kitties in a box. Why don't you just drive up the well, that's ridiculous. It's a 500-mile drive, but
stuck in an aircraft.
And it was for an hour and 15 minutes, but it was bad enough. And so anyway, let me do a little reading for Morgan Snow. I started shuffling for you, Morgan. Let's draw a card and let's see what it says. For Morgan Snow, she can't call in today, but yes, we'll make an exception, Morgan, for you. Making an exception. You have the Six of Cups. And I'm sorry, the Six of Swords. And what you see there is a family. They're in the boat. There's 6 swords protruding out. They're sailing on the water away from, way in the background here. Here, look, if you see in the background, I'm doing this in reverse, seeing it on the monitor. There's
Scotty,
a town back
I
there.
need to hop off for a little bit. So
all right, Sarah.
Okay.
See you later.
Bye.
Bye.
Oh.
And so they're sailing away from a town. And so what the card signifies all on its surface is it's all about leaving something, going somewhere else. You've packed everybody up. The swords represent conflict. The water represents emotion in the tarot. And you're sailing out and leaving what's familiar back here. And it's like the past, you're going, this is a card of transition, saying you're going from one place to another, but the reason you're going is because something is not it's not just not to your liking anymore. It's that something is almost grown intolerable. And so intolerable that you've got to leave behind what is back there. And by leaving that behind, you're moving yourself away from something. So it's like a move that is a move of necessity. It's a move of leaving the things that are, you're departing and you're leaving it behind. You're building distance because what's in the past has grown intolerable. Now, the difference in the reverse, because it came up in the reverse, is that there might be this idea of being stuck back there in the past. You can't load up the boat and move. You might want to move. There might be a return to trouble. There might be a running away from problems. There might be a feeling of feeling trapped back there in the reverse of this. But when it's in the upright, it says, despite whatever sadness you might have or have had or experiencing or that weighs on your heart, you need to remember that moving on is the ideal option for your future. But in the reverse, it's telling you that something is keeping you from moving on. It's keeping you from moving on from whatever problems might exist for you on the romantic level. Maybe you don't have any of those. I don't know. It might mean that your career, you're leaving for a stressful place or finding material stability again. But in the reverse, you're avoiding dealing with finances. It's creating conflicts at work. There's a self-sabotage propensity with this card in the reverse. It's a you can't move on relationship-wise or passions or heart matters. Can't move on, can't let go. Haunted kind of a feeling with this. So this card, there's a warning here that says don't get trapped in this. Oh, who we got, Heather White?
Yeah, this is
We'll say
David.
hi in a second. There's the idea with this card of getting trapped in those things that are fucking with our emotions. Sorry, you got a kid there, and I said the F word.
He's got his headphones
The
on.
effing bomber, which I'm sure you never use, Heather.
I am the worst. Don't worry.
So
That's a bummer.
it's being stuck in things and unable to move from them. Things are overwhelming. Sometimes it's stuff from the past. Sometimes it's current stuff. And so this is a card that's warning you not to allow yourself to be stuck, but to load up that boat, flip that around. We have the ability to do that. That's why the negative cards don't show up to say, you're fucked. That's not why they're there. They're there to say, here's where you could be right now if you're not careful. Maybe you are here already. Flip that around. Load up, move away from the things that are intolerable. Move away from the things that are holding you up and move into something. And you notice the boat, it doesn't show the front. It doesn't show where it's going. All it's indicating is just move away from the thing that's holding you up. So there you go. I hope that was good for you, Morgan. It's a negative card, but it's a negative card with a positive action that it's kind of telling you to take. Don't get stuck. Find ways to unstick. Make things tolerable again. I hope that's helpful. Boom. And Heather, back to you. Was that Callan?
It's Aiden.
How you doing?
Hi.
He's shy.
Hi.
And
You
she's
can
got
see
two of those
himself on the
guys.
telly, so that's why he's looking at the telly.
It's always fun to crawl into mom's bed during the day, isn't it?
You say hi.
All right.
I'm doing my own thing, Mom.
Doing my own thing.
All I can see you on the telly is just staring at yourself.
Yeah, you're welcome, Morgan Snow. She said it's right on the money. I'm stuck. Well, maybe we should talk some more. There's things you can do about that. I hear all kinds of people walking around upstairs. I think it's my 2 kids. So
the little ones are awake.
Yes, the wee ones who aren't so wee anymore.
Right.
Nifty headphones, says Roger Rabbit.
They're pretty cool.
Mine lit up.
Thank you. You like your headphones, Aiden? Yeah.
Yeah. Shh, I'm listening. Shh.
Why
So.
watch me?
All right. Well, guess what? We are approaching
Look at
11 o'clock.
It's about that time.
It's about that time.
Look at me, Mom.
How's our accents? Oh, it's about that time.
It's about that time.
About that time. I like listening to her because I can refine my accent. So I watch movies like Brave to refine my Scottish accent.
All right, Brave.
Or Rob Roy. That's a good one. It's Liam Neeson. So I love the old duffer from Brave, where they're all dancing around, and he lifts up his kilt and he goes, "Feast your eyes," he says. So
why am I not surprised that that's the thing that you enjoy, Scotty?
I just thought it was a funny
Listen to some
scene.
Billy Connolly. You'll get
What's
it.
that? What's that?
Billy
Heather?
Connolly?
Oh,
Billy Connolly.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's well, like in Braveheart. What did he say to Muran? I think Maron was her name, Marion. He said, what did he say? He said something like he could, talking about his physical skills or something. He's teasing her and he says, well, I could stand on my head. He says, my kilt would fall. And she says, well, no, don't do that. So I can't remember the lines in the scene, but
except at that point in Scottish history, I don't believe they were wearing kilts.
No, he wasn't. He probably wasn't wearing a kilt. He was for the movie.
Yay, Hollywood.
Yeah.
I don't know why they got an Australian actor to play a Scottish person in Braveheart.
Why they got an Australian actor?
Yeah, exactly. And he's not so Australian anymore. You ever hear his voice now? He's thoroughly Americanized. He's been here for what, 40 years? So
I would like to see them somehow bring him back into Mad Max. Just so
that'd be interesting. Well, he did the new Mad Max movies with Tom Hardy.
Tom Hardy, and then they have that new one, Furiosa. But
I haven't seen that one.
Yeah, I haven't seen it yet either. I heard that it was like kind of a box office flop, but it's a really good movie. So I don't know.
I have no idea.
Yeah, I don't know.
A really good movie. So,
right, I know.
I don't know. I've seen my daughters when they came into town. They took us all to a movie, and they did it for the younger kids. They took us to see In and Out 2, animated film. It's about the young girl. The first one about the young girl, and it's all the characters in her brain that make up her brain. You know, from happiness, joy to anger to crying and all, and it was a good movie.
Yeah.
Not one I would have chosen to go to.
We went to the cinema to see that yesterday, but Aiden only lasted 25 minutes, and then we had to leave.
Oh no! Did he get tired, or was he just unmanageable?
You can't sit and concentrate for that long. So
yeah.
But I lasted 25 minutes, and Callum was not happy.
Oh, that's too bad. But well, we saw it, and there were actually my daughters. They all look at me and they go, "Did you cry?" I said, "Well, yeah." There's a couple of little spots that. You laughing at me? Oh no! So, yeah, and it was good. This particular one, it took the same character, and
Mommy,
it dealt
which
with all the characters in her brain as she hit puberty.
Oh, Lord.
And it was actually really well done. You know, there was a hell of a lot of psychological junk going on to write the screenplay for that.
Mm.
And to make it funny, I say In and Out 2 is a movie for parents more than it's fun for kids, but it is definitely a movie for parents, because every parent in there that has kids, especially that have started to hit puberty, you can see the whole theater, they're all going, uh-huh, or laughing at all the same spots because it's our kids, you know.
Yeah.
All of my kids except one. Well, I don't know. Ellery, she's not in puberty yet, but man, she started getting her period at age, she's 9.5. My son Sam. Hey. Sam is here.
Samuel.
You know, Jason, and there's Heather over in Glasgow, Scotland. Hey. So, hey, he says, that's how you say hi with an American accent. Hey. So she said she was in bed watching TV in the middle of the afternoon, eating McDonald's, and was a hot mess. And we said she had to call in anyway. So there you go. So, and it's, guess what? It's 11:01. So it's time to wrap this thing. So,
Indeed.
And make some burgers. Yes.
I said hello there, but my mic was on mute. So, hi.
Oh. Yeah. She had McDonald's, Big Mac. We're having home cooked burgers. Mm-hmm. You know what I like to make? I call them. I've talked about this before. If those of you remember, I like to make what I call Sasquatch burgers. It's just homemade. What I do is I take 2 patties, thin patties, real thin amount, so it's not too much meat, and you put chunky peanut butter in the middle with pepper jack cheese, and you can put like a smash burger, you can put like sauteed onions in there too, and then you smash the 2 patties together, seal the edges, fry that bitch up. That is good eating. And then you put the toppings.
Here's what you need to try. Put the peanut butter in there. Get your cheese, throw bacon on there, and a pepper jam.
Pepper jam with a fried egg.
I'm telling you. I know people are like, "What?" But
and you know what else?
You get a PB&J burger and you put a fried egg on that.
Yep.
As long as it's got bacon, there's this awesome just mixture of sweet, savory, umami, saltiness. It's great.
Prosciutto ham, thin slice. You put that on there too. You can put it inside too. It almost melts, so you're not like biting through ham.
Yeah.
Peanut butter on burgers, field guy.
I wonder what it'd be like to put some guanciale on a burger, hand seared.
Yeah.
Well, first I have to find a place that actually sells it. But
Annette Keenan, welcome. Were you in Des Moines for Salisbury Fair when Bill Locken had the Goober Burger? I was not in Des Moines for Salisbury Fair when he did that, the Goober Burger. So it's somewhat legendary, but I wasn't there. Field guy, an egg or PB will never be on my burgers. Yeah, you're probably some heathen that won't put pineapple on your pizza either.
Stop being a Luddite.
Yes. Expand your horizons, field guy. Peanut butter on burgers.
You know what that tells me is he has no culinary how do I put this politely? Balls.
No, that's it.
Yeah, chicken.
How do I say this politely?
Chicken, straight up, just yellow.
He has no scrotal fortitude. Yeah, we got to think of something that works. So
we are goading a dude into trying something on a burger.
yes, I do eat pineapple on my pizza, he said. Oh, well, okay.
Well, then why not PB or an egg on your burger? I'm telling you, man, just do the burger, bacon, cheese, put the egg on there. Don't put the peanut butter. You got to work yourself into this and go over medium with that egg. You'll be happy.
Just the other day had, because there was nothing else to eat around here, I didn't feel like cooking. So I'm looking in the deep freeze, and we've got, Rainy would always get these things from the dollar store. And there were Jimmy Dean. They're like egg McMuffins, but they're not. Sausage biscuits with cheese and egg.
Mm-hmm.
They're about that big, and you put them in the microwave for a minute. And so I made up one of those, and I said, something's missing. Oh, strawberry jam. So I put a little strawberry jam on that. It was perfect. Sausage, egg, cheese, strawberry jam on a mini English muffin.
There was a place in Old Town Alexandria in Virginia called Gadsby's Tavern, and I think it's still in operation, but it's been in operation as an inn and tavern since, I mean, founding fathers ate there.
Yes,
and they have ham biscuits and small biscuits. It's got like a slice of ham on there, some butter, and then it's usually like a raspberry jam that they serve it with.
Jam.
It is so good. So good.
This is our third Heather today, by the way. I rarely get my Heathers all in one day. This is, see, we've got Heather White over in Glasgow. We had Heather Marie was not on today. She's been on before. She's local. She's in our town. Now Heather Meyer is here. Oh my God, we're talking food. Now I'm hungry. Oh, look who's here. Radio Wifey is here.
Hey,
Wendy, you better come on right now. We're just getting ready to end. You should come on and promo Wicked Women for today. Heather Meyer says, I had a good burger 2 nights ago. Pepper jack, 2 patties smashed and fried onions. Come to lunch with me today and come get one. Boom. There
you need
it
to
is.
try haggis on your burgers. It's amazing.
I've never had haggis on a burger.
I have never had the opportunity to try haggis.
You've never had haggis till you've had a paper. Pipe it in.
Oh, you'll love it. It's smashing. Stop.
I mean, is there something that it's comparable to?
Have you tried black pudding?
I love black pudding.
It's kind of like that, but spicier and more texture.
I saw, you know what I got? I got haggis in a can, which is gross, but bought haggis in a can when I was in Scotland and brought it home. Canned haggis. Yeah, that's about it. It's like dog food. It's where you crank it open, you turn it upside down, and it goes.
Oh my God, that's disgusting.
Have you ever seen the whole chicken in a can?
No.
I don't want to.
Canned chicken.
A whole chicken in a can. You can get them. You can absolutely get them. You can also get.
Bring one next Sunday. Show us all.
Say again.
You did what?
I said, bring a chicken in a can next Sunday and show us all.
Bring it.
I gotta find one around here, but I know they make it. It pops up all over the internet, videos, pictures. There's another one where it's like an entire Christmas or Thanksgiving, holiday dinner in a can as well.
Right.
Yeah, and it's.
Oh, this is Heather Marie. Heather, I didn't know Meyer. Where did Meyer come from? That is Heather Marie. Heather Marie, cute, blonde. She's been on here before. It was about this time last year where she came in on a Sunday, and I got to drive down with her to pick up her new car in Illinois. And so we spent a couple of days driving. That was on this show that happened. So, Heather, I didn't know Meyer. Why didn't I know that? I know your other last name. It's Heather Marie, right? No, she's got a different last name with a W, I thought. I missed something up there. It's me. She says, it's me. She's waving her hands. It's me. So, I got the other kid. There's Rowan.
Got a full house over there.
Yeah, that's not even her friend who spent the night. And then Flynn is upstairs too. So,
well, I need to back on out because I got to get ready. I've got a 2-hour
get
drive.
out of here. I got to get out of here too. It's the end of show. So, no, I'm Heather Marie. Yeah, there it is. I missed that. Sorry, Heather. I like to marry lots of me. There you go. There it is. I believe it. I believe it. So, anyway. Yeah, Heather's doing well. When did I see you last? Oh, it was a few Sundays ago for your twin boy's birthday. So, out at the park. If you guys saw that picture I put up with Heather. So, Heather says, I like to collect last names. Accumulation of lost men I married. Nice. I understand that. Heather, before we go, do you want me to pull a card for you? I've been doing little mini 1-card readings. You want me to pull a card? Or do you not want it publicized, whatever comes up? So, Rowan, hey, Rowan. Heather says hi. Heather, we went traveling with her last year. Oh yeah, hi. She said, Heather. So typical 12-year-old
response. Yeah.
So, and that one's in puberty too. So you can always tell because the emotions are like all over the place. Hey, Dad, will you run me to Walmart, please? I'll rub your feet if you run me to Walmart. I'm like, no, I don't want to go anywhere. I don't need my feet rubbed. What's your problem? I hate my life. And slam. It's like, hey, whoa, we'll go to Walmart. All right. Sheesh.
You're giving in, Dad.
Yeah. Yeah, I caved to that one. Oh, the best cave to my daughter Rowan. Can we get this kitty? Yeah, sure. I'm like, no, I don't want another cat. And then it came down to the real, I've got the kitty. We can go pick him up. I'm like, no. Yeah, Heather, come on over. It's just us. Come on over. Come hungry. We'll make you a burger. You're what, 5 minutes away, 10 minutes away? Come on over and say hi. She's close enough. Love Heather. So, so we won't do anything on the air with her. So, where's my cake? Says Randall Flagg. Yeah, where's your cake? Creep show. All right. Oh, we lost Heather White. Oh, Scotland has cut us off.
Well, I need to get going anyhow too. So I will.
You get out of here, Jason.
Sign off. Have a good one, everybody. Scotty, always a pleasure.
All right, everybody else. Guess what? It's time to go. We're done. Oh, there. Yeah, he just popped out. She goes, Heather Meyer says, oh my God, all of mine are in puberty. Mood swings around here are real mixed with, yeah, dude, it's crazy around here. So, Heather White over in Glasgow, Scotland. Good to see you today, as always. Oh, there she is. She says, I kicked myself out by accident. See, I've done that. It's painful some days. So there's Heather White. Kicked herself out. You have a good day over there in Scotland. Heather Marie, we'll see you when you get here. You know where the house is. And other than that, everybody else, you have a wonderful day. We'll see you tomorrow night for what the hell is the name of my show? Intrepid Radio, 9 p.m. And Wendy did not make it here. I didn't see her come in. So Wicked Women today, go look it up on Wendy's page at 4 p.m., I do believe, Central, 5 p.m. Eastern. So all of you, until next time, live long and prosper. and we'll see you later.